Good morning. Well, Fancy and I, where's Fancy? Come on. Knucklehead. There she is. Well, Fancy and I are on our morning walk this morning. And we're headed home. It's a little overcast this morning. As you can see behind me, the sun's trying to come out from the clouds. Makes it a little cool, but it feels really nice. Especially after yesterday, it was hot. Fancy got to see some deer on the way up the hill. If you look back, remember I said everything's uphill leading from our house. Let me see if I can get that road. Yeah, we went to the top of that hill right there, and now we're heading back. But what we're going to talk about today, and I was thinking about it. So there are two gentlemen that anytime I see an article written by them or an interview with them, I stop and I read it or I listen to it. First one is Thomas Sowell. He's an economist. Very brilliant man. He's in his 90s, and when he passes, it's going to be a very sad day for this country. And the other one is Victor Davis Hanson, who is a history professor and a commentator. And like I said, anytime I see anything by them, I stop and I pay attention. Well, yesterday, I saw a clip of a radio interview that Victor Davis Hanson gave entitled, "This Will Be the End of Us." And I'll put the link down below so you guys can go listen. It's only about 8 minutes long. But he lists off a huge list of problems the United States has. Unfettered border, the border's not controlled, the woke mind virus, the criminal epidemic. He lists off all these things that are problems, but he made the point basically to the effect that yes, these are problems, but they will not be what causes the American empire to fall. And if you've watched the channel for any amount of time, you know where I stand on the American empire. Go read Sir John Glubb's The Fate of Empires and the Search for Security. And I'll put a link down below to online PDF. It's a really short read. It's a pamphlet. Come on. But go read that. And every empire in history falls. And yes, America is an empire by any definition of the word. But they eventually fall. And there's a pretty predictable way it happens. There are a chain of events, the different ages of the empire. And, historically, America is reaching the time where our shelf life as Oh, Fancy just saw a rabbit. She wants that rabbit. Look at that. Hey, leave the rabbit alone. Anyway, I've been pretty vocal about it. It's bound to happen, and the signs are all there, and it's not a matter if, it's a matter of when. But Mr. Hanson points out that the real problem in America is our lack of will to do anything about these problems. Even the left that champions the illegal immigrant has reached the point where they say, hey, this is untenable. We can't do this. We see it in the fact that they are saying stuff about these sanctuary cities that, when faced with the reality of illegals, they're like, we can't do this. This is not sustainable. And politicians know that they need to be tough on crime and put people in jail, but they don't want the repercussions. They don't have the moral courage, and the people who elect them don't have the moral courage to do anything about it. Homelessness, the rampant homelessness is a direct result of the closing down of all the mental health, facilities, all the insane asylums, if you will. But it's a direct result of that. There are tons of people that should be institutionalized for mental issues that aren't. And the list goes on. And it all stems from the fact that we don't have the moral courage to do this stuff. We as a society. And so Angela yesterday met a kid, 23-year-old. He was from Arizona. He was in Topeka, and he was trying to rally up support for a third-party candidate. And when she asked who that was, he said Robert Kennedy. And she said that she kind of groaned inside. Hang on a second. Fancy, what are you doing? She found something. She found something that smells good. But anyway, so she starts talking to this kid, and she said it became very obvious after talking to him for a minute that he did not adhere to the ideas that John F. Kennedy espouses. And if you're a fan of his, I'm going to tell you, you need to rethink that, because he's against the vaccine, but almost everything else he believes in is hardcore socialist, and some of his stuff is even to the left of Biden. But anyway, that's for another video. So anyway, she's talking to him, and she's like, well, why are you trying to get Robert Kennedy on the ballot? Well, and his response is, we need a third party. And that, you know, he was very, very adamant about that, and he felt it enough that he decided to take this gig to go drum up support. And she said after talking to him, she was explaining what his views were, and I looked at her and I said, he's a little young Spags. And she said, she's like, yeah, you're right. Same type of stuff that Spags Unfiltered espouses. And if you haven't gone and seen any of Spags stuff, I suggest you go over there. I'll put a link to his channel down below as well. But he's a libertarian, very libertarian. So anyway, we were talking about it, and I made the comment. The kid's heart in the right place, but you should have told him, instead of trying to do it on a national level, he should be at home working locally. Because let's face it, there's no political solution to what's going on in this country right now, at least at the national level. At the local level too. And by that I mean that we're not going to be able to vote our way back into prosperity and a moral society and all the things that need to be done. We're not going to vote ourselves into the moral fortitude to make the decisions that need to be made. So that's going to happen at the local level. And this is where all the talk of community, where the rubber meets the road. We have to look locally to fix these problems. If we want society to have the moral courage to do what needs to be done to fix all these problems, then we're going to have to start locally, and we're going to have to start changing our communities. And we talked about it all the time. The number one, build community, be involved in it, surround yourself with like-minded people. Then food independence, because food is a weapon and they will use it against us. We're already starting to see that a little bit right now. And then modern self-reliance. I hear these feminists go, I don't need a man. What are you going to do when your car breaks down? I'm going to take it to the mechanic. Well, is your mechanic a man? Yes. Well, then you need a man. All right. So we need to change these attitudes. Hang on a second, guys. Oh, Fancy's got this habit now of walking around behind me and wrapping me up in the leash. And anyway, as I was saying, self-reliance. We need to practice modern self-reliance. In fact, I got a video that I'm going to post here in a day or two on just that subject, and it's very interesting. No, seriously? What are you doing? You find something else? Oh, come on. Something about these Pyrenees. Oh, hang on a second, guys. We just crossed the 30-minute threshold. We're just right almost home. These Pyrenees, they love sniffing stuff out, and digging like all dogs do. Anyway, so this is what we need to do. This is how we fix the problems. And as I said before, I'm very open about how I think things are going to go for America's future, or the United States' future, I should say. But no matter what happens, no matter what happens, the country's still going to be here. You know, I make the point. Rome still exists. It just happens to be a city in Italy instead of a continent-spanning empire, right? So whatever happens, we're going to be left with the remnants, and it's our job, it's our duty to pick up the pieces and put them back together in some semblance of what made the country great to begin with. The ideas that were the foundation of the moral framework and the ethos behind what brought the country to prominence. You know, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard road to hoe, but we can do it, and we start locally. Become involved. You know, even if you don't have kids, be involved in the school district. Be involved in the religious life of the community. Do all that stuff, and that is how we insulate ourselves from bad stuff happening down the road. All right, hey, we're back to the house. I mowed yesterday. Looks a heck of a lot nicer than it used to. When we first moved in, oh man, and the house still looks terrible. But it's getting better. It's getting better. So, again, if you're new here and you made it this far, thank you very much, and think about subscribing. If you're a subscriber, thank you for being here. Go ahead and put a comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this stuff, what's happening, and how we go forward from here. If you want to support the channel, go to GrumpyAcresFarm.com and you can buy stuff there. As I said, the Never Alone shirt is always a win in my book. We've also got really nice trucker hats. You see me wear it in different videos with the logo on it. You know, don't feel obligated. Most importantly, go out today and make it a great day and go live a life done free. Thanks, Milo.